All right, so the weight loss case study, I'm going to show you, break down, give you an overview of exactly how I was able to bank $184,000 in profit in just 6 weeks time with this weight loss campaign. I'm going to go through the overview, give you a bird's eye view of what was going on, and then we're going to break down the best ad, the best lander, the offer, audiences that worked, everything, okay? So just to clarify, we can see down at the bottom, you can see my screen, this is a tracker. This is how we track our campaigns accurately, not having to rely on the ads dashboard. So we can see we spent $373K. Now this is actually over reporting. We actually spent $366,000. So this is, over reporting, $7,000. So that takes it to actually $190,000 profit. So I want to break down everything what's going on. The view that you can see right now, this is at the campaign level. So we only ran 3 campaigns within Facebook, okay? The 3 Facebook ad campaigns inside the same ad account, and we're going to jump into the ad account in just a second. But I want to just clarify and lay out why we've got all these different rows. Basically, we're using this tracker that dynamically places the name of the campaign name, okay? So when we see this, parentheses or whatever that is, campaign.name, that's where the link click hasn't tracked, okay? So it hasn't picked up what campaign actually sent that click. It will have been one of these 3 campaigns. We don't know. And you can see there's nearly 61,000 clicks that went untracked, which is quite a lot. 191 purchases, $28,000 in revenue. We're not sure which campaign these came from. They might have all come from one campaign, highly unlikely, but it's a possibility. And then that extra $28,000 in revenue makes a huge difference, okay? So we're not sure what that is. So just to clarify, that's why that's there. We don't know where that's come from exactly, apart from it's come from one of these 3 campaigns. Next, we've got this plus minus plus, the same campaign names as here, but with a plus minus plus in between. It's just not, again, tracked properly. Some of them will be bot clicks, same with this campaign.name. Some will be bot clicks, manual reviews, etc. But it's just not picked up for whatever reason properly. But we can work out ABO sneak is obviously this one. ABO on its own is this one. CBO sneak DP here, so we can see we've got a couple of extra sales there, a couple of $100 extra revenue, which we can add in, right? I just wanted to point that out and clear that up, okay? So I'm not going to drill down specifics right now. We're going to jump into the ads manager just to show you exactly what's been spent. So let's go over to the ads manager. We can see we've ran from the 1st of May to the 17th of June, so 6-7 weeks, give or take, and we can see exactly how much we spent here, $366,740. We can also see each campaign and how much we spent per campaign, right? So we've got this, we'll start with the most. CBO sneak DP, 157,646. Let's jump back to the tracker, CBO sneak. So we spent 157. We can see we're tracking 139 spent, okay? But we also have this campaign name with 31,000 and the rest here, right? So there's probably $33,000 nearly, give or take, 32,800, whatever it is, in costs that hasn't been tracked properly. So a portion of that, potentially a vast majority of that, could be from the CBO sneak DP. We don't know, but we can assume, right? So even though it says 157,000 and it only says 139,000, we do have another $32,000 in unaccounted spend, right? In unaccounted tracking spend. So that potentially, if this had tracked properly, this CBO sneak might actually be closer to that $157,000 mark spent. Okay, I just want to point that out, and I want to make sure that that's crystal clear. Next, we've got the ABO sneak, which was 109,000 spent, and ABO sneaks here. And we're tracking $114,000 spent. So we're overspent there. We're tracking too much, $5,000 too much, and potentially more, depending on where this spend came from. This $31,000 in spend. Then we have the 100,000 here. And again, we're underreporting on the cost, but again, that could be made up. with some of this cost. So you can see it's not 100% accurate, right? It's definitely more accurate than what the Facebook ads dashboard tells you. But we have this $33,000 in unaccounted tracking spend, which could be evenly split between the three campaigns. It might be all top heavy to CBO Sneak or the ABO. We're not sure. So it's got to be taken with a pinch of salt, right? But I wanted to make that clear because I know as soon as you watch this and I don't cover that, it's like, well, no, that's spent way more than what you've said it spent. So I wanted to make that clear. But we get a good feel for what's going on and how much profit's been made, right? All right, so we've got the ads manager, we've got the amount of revenue from the tracker that we've made. Now we can start drilling down and seeing exactly what happened, right? So we can start here. So what we started with is we started with this ABO, okay? This is just normal ad set budget. And if I open this up, we can see the campaigns that we ran. And you can see a whole load of D1, D2s, D3s. These are duplications, right? So if I scroll down, we should start to see the ones without any duplications. So here they are. Auto, we can see here no Ds, no D1, D2, D3s. These are the original ad sets that we started with, okay? And we started them each at $100 per ad set. You can see we've got a ton of different interests that we tested. These initials are just for a different interest. Stack is a mix of interests. LAL are lookalikes, LAL. And then TB is the initials of each lookalike that we ran. Purchases, obviously you can work that out. A super lookalike was a combination of different lookalike audiences. And obviously 1%, 2%, 3 to 5%. You can work that out. So we started off with this test, right? Testing these original audiences. We let them run for a few $100s. And we use our metrics guide as to what we're looking for, our KPIs, right? So you can see here, PS interest. And now obviously this might be different. I never rely on Facebook ads data to tell me what to turn off or what to turn on or scale, because it's just totally inaccurate. We're lucky to see even 70% accuracy, even less right now. We're lucky to see 50% accuracy with the iOS updates. So don't be too heavily reliant on the purchase and cost per purchase data. So and I'll show you right now, 956 purchases. This was this was the ABO original. So here's the ABO original, and we've got to be fair, it's not too bad. I'm eating my own words. We've got 899 purchases. Remember, the leads are the purchase. 899 purchases, and then we've got this 191 purchases unaccounted for. Potentially, we might make that up. Pretty accurate, to be fair, which is very surprising for Facebook, especially right now. So this could be accurate. However, I don't rely on it. I always want to cross-reference with my tracking software to be able to see whether this is working or not, right? So we can see here, PS interest. Let's just assume it did just get one purchase and it was for $300. We want to be paying $100 and under, ideally. That's our KPI. That usually means we're going to make profit if we can get a purchase for less than $100. That's good for us, okay? And you can see there's a good amount that did get that. Again, we don't know how accurate this is, but we can see, there's a good mix, right? So what we did is, after we've ran them and we're seeing them working pretty well, we can either bump the budgets, so we double the budget. You can do the 20% incremental increases, or you can duplicate, okay? And we found that duplicating works way better. So we'll wait for a certain amount of purchases to get a read as to whether this is a good audience, a good ad set or not. And once we've got, maybe 4, 5, 6 plus purchases at a good cost, and it's been running for a few days, we'll duplicate it. So the D1 is the duplications the first time, okay? D2 is a second duplication, and D3 is a third duplication. So for example, right here, we have this LAL35TB. We've duplicated this 3 times. So the one ad set, we duplicate times 3. So now we have 4 of the existing ad set, right? We have the original, and then we have D1, D2, and D3. So now we've gone from spending $100 a day on the original ad set to spending $400 a day with the 3 new ad sets. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. This is a good way of us just increasing our spend and tapping into the same audience, right? Because what we find is if we had just one ad set spending $400 a day, yes, obviously we're at a higher scale there. We're going to get more volume to that ad set. But what we found is having multiple ad sets, duplicate ad sets, actually gives us a better chance because we can hit different pockets of that audience. If you've ever ran Facebook ads before, sometimes you'll notice your ad set says it has an audience of 10 million people, but you only have 200,000 impressions, but your frequency is at 2. So now your ad's being shown to the same people again and again, but you've not even got anywhere close to reaching 100% of your audience seeing your ad, which doesn't make any sense, right? Because Facebook's putting your audience into buckets. So like a slice of pizza almost. They'll take, the whole pizza is your audience, your ad set, the 10 million people, but you only show your ads to a slice of that pizza, 200,000 people or whatever it is, right? So by having multiple ad sets, duplicate ad sets, you've got a better chance of reaching different slices. So now we've got 4 ad sets. Well, maybe we hit 4 different slices of the pizza. Maybe we don't. Maybe all those 4 ad sets hit the one slice, but we've got a better chance, right? No one really knows exactly how Facebook works. I don't even know if Facebook know how Facebook works, Facebook ads, but we can assume, right? And then you can see, for example, here, we've got D3 and D3, D1, D2. So now our duplicate free audience of the original one of this did really well. And now we've duplicated it 3 times again. There'll be a third one somewhere around here. I'm not going to spend time looking through 88 ad sets to find it, but we can assume, right? So that's how this campaign worked. We were seeing what ad sets work, duplicate that ad set 3 times if it's got a good amount of purchases at a good cost and it's profitable. We're always looking to be at least 100% ROI. And again, we're cross-referencing with our tracker to make sure that's happening. Then we're duplicating. All right, so let's jump back to the campaign level. So what we do next is once we've found some, pretty killer campaigns, ad sets, what we'll do is we'll bring in some manual bidding once we've got some good data. Now, I really like Sneak Attack, which is a Tim Bird strategy. It's basically where we put a bid cap lower than our KPI or our average cost per purchase, but we use accelerated spending, accelerated delivery. So telling Facebook to spend our budget as soon as possible, as fast as they can, but because our bid cap's quite low, Facebook won't spend it all, but it will try to, right? So it's a good balance of both. We get a decent amount of volume, but at a good cost because we're getting, good conversions at good cost. It's been killer for us. However, more recently, since, probably the last 6 weeks or so, filming this in September, the last 6 weeks, it hasn't worked as well as what it used to. Now, I don't know if that's going to change, whether we're just going through a dry patch. Obviously, weight loss during summer is never too hot. We'll see. We'll wait and see. Obviously, we go through different strategies in the training as to what we're using right now, which I'm not going to go into in the case study. So if you're a member of Affiliate Millionaire, go through the training. You'll see exactly what's working for us right now. But Sneak Attack's been great for us in the past, for sure. So you can see here, right, we've got big budgets. And this is a good example, right? So we've got a $6,000 a day budget. However, this ad set only spent $4,900. You can see it was started on May the 8th. And it probably ran for a good few weeks. Maybe not even a few weeks, maybe a week or a couple of weeks. But it only spent just short of $5,000 when that's its daily spend. And the reason is, we've got this big budget because Facebook can't spend it all because our bid's too low. So our bid's so low for our audience, obviously $109 bid isn't low in comparison to some, accounts and niches and offers. But for ours, it is. We struggle to spend that. So Facebook's trying its best to spend this $6,000. So Facebook's trying its best to spend $6,000, but because our bid's so low, it just can't spend the budget. All right, and it, as you can see, it gives us a really good cost per purchase. I'm not going to go through them all. Not all the time, obviously. Some of them run away from us. Got a big spender there. This is one of our steps of scaling. So with our original ABO campaign, we're doing $100 a day budgets. We find what wins there. We sort of prove it by duplicating it 3 times, and we run it again. And obviously that's part scaling as well. So we're scaling in that regard as well. And then when we find some awesome ad sets that are just killer, and you can see a lot of these are lookalikes. We've got some interest up here, BL interest, M for male. So once we find some awesome audiences, then we bring them into these bigger campaigns, manual bidding campaigns. So that's what we did in this campaign. And then the third campaign is probably my favorite campaign. This is a CBO, so campaign budget optimization. So the budget's controlled at a campaign level, and we can see our budget here was $250,000. And what we do is we run a lifetime, right? So DP is day parting. So we run in specific hours of the day. And again, there's more training on this in the Affiliate Millionaire modules. This is probably one of my favorite strategies to do, is run day parting campaigns. So once we've got enough data from our ABO and from our ABO sneak, we can see exactly when, what time, what day of the week our conversions happen. So what we'll do is we'll basically just show our ads at those times and days. Instead of running our ads 24/7, we show at the best times to run when our conversions are hottest. And when you're looking at, 500, 1,000 conversions, you've got enough data to see, oh, okay, let's just run our ads from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday to Friday, and then maybe all day Saturday to Sunday. So now you've basically halved your running time, and you're just pushing the budget during those times when your campaign converts. It's killer. It really is. And again, we can break down. Again, we're using sneak attacks, so low bids. But you can see we've actually spent, just short of 160K off a $250,000 budget. So what we'll do is we'll do initially 10-day lifetime budget. So we'll run the campaign for 10 days. And when we get closer to the end of the 10 days, we'll just extend it. You can see here we're actually extended 50 days in total. So this was just us pushing it back another 10 days every time. And we'll increase the budget if we need to. We'll reduce it depending on how much we've spent. So it's a fantastic way of scaling. It really is. With big budgets at campaign level. And again, we started with just the autos. So maybe, I don't know how many that is, maybe 20 ad sets, just auto. And again, these were based on our winning ad sets from previous. And then if they were doing well, we duplicate them inside the CBO. Turn off any losers, keep any winners on, and duplicate them if they're proven to be a winner, right? And it works fantastically well. All right, so let's jump back to the tracker real quick, because I want to break down some other stuff for you. And in fact, I can do it right here. So while we're in the tracker, let's break down the hour of the day. And we can get a bit of an insight as to how we're looking at the hour of the day, right? So our ABO and ABO sneak all ran 24/7, okay? And our day parting ran between 5 a.m. and I think 3 p.m. So we had this window of time here. And you can see, 1, that's where the bulk of the traffic is. And 2, that's where the highest ROI is. Now again, we don't have 100% accurate data. So this might be out a little bit, a few percent, whatever it is. But it's pretty accurate. It's fairly accurate. I'm pretty confident this would be, 90 to 95% accurate. All right. So we've got an idea of what's going on. So this is where we'd run it. And this was based off the data that we already had. And then we just emphasized on it. So this is basically what we're using the tracker for, to break down and drill down into what's profitable and what's not. We can do the same with device type. So device type, we can break down, was it desktop, was it smartphone, was it tablet, etc. And you can see right now, smartphone, super profitable, desktop even more so. But one thing I will point out with desktop, the conversion's higher. Makes sense. People watching a 1-hour video probably gonna more likely to convert and stay sat down watching the video on a desktop computer over a phone, right? Then we've got the tablet, where tablet didn't do as well, right? 11%. We've got the feature phone, which it's hard to break down the feature phone, but it basically comes into smartphone anyway. But we get an idea, right? So we could, if we wanted to, test running desktop. The reason why we don't is desktop's pretty expensive. You know, like the click-through rate's lower, the CPMs are higher. It just doesn't work as well. So once we split out a desktop, you know, an ad set specifically for desktop, you know, this would not look the same because the cost would be just way higher. The reason why it's not is because it's grouped into the whole campaign, right? So we're based off the whole campaign. It hasn't just broken down desktop cost versus smartphone cost. It's basically taken the overall cost and divided the amount of clicks. So it's the same cost per click pretty much, right? You can see here 55 cents cost per click, 53 cents. Which makes it different, right? Because this is probably going to be more like closer to $1 on a desktop cost per click. And then that makes a drastic change to this ROI. So we have to take things with a pinch of salt. But I wanted to show you, right? And then what we can do as well is we can break down by OS, so the operating service. So is it iOS converting? Is it Android? Is it, you know, Windows for desktop, Mac OS? Whatever it is, right? We can have a little look here and we can see where is converting best. And we can see right away iOS versus Android, you know, there's a pretty big difference. So we could maybe split out, and this is what we did as well, we split out ad sets targeting iOS only. You can do this across a range of things. Another great one that I like to look at is connection type. So this gives us an idea whether it's Wi-Fi and cable versus just cellular. And again, we can see there is a bit of a difference for cable and Wi-Fi DSL. Now, obviously, this would be desktop traffic as well coming through this one, but it gives us an idea again. So we could run Wi-Fi only. Again, someone watching an hour-long VSL, probably going to be an easier conversion if they're, you know, connected to Wi-Fi, more stable, rather than on the move, on a bus, on a train, or whatever. We can also drill down by country, state, province. I'm not going to go into that, but there's a ton of things we can do here which makes drilling down into the profit way more easier. Okay. Now, another thing that we always do is we test landers, and we'll have a look at the ad in a minute. But I'm just going to break down the landers real quick, and we'll take a look at the lander in just a second to round this off. But we can see here, you know, we tested a few different landers, and there's one clear winner, and we found this pretty quick. And we just stuck with it because it just converted like crazy. And it was this one, and you can see the offer that we ran, Toxiburn, and it was an actual ClickFunnels page versus the exact same page but built on Convertry. The ClickFunnels page outperformed it, which is crazy, but it did. And obviously there's a proof for it. 51% conversion rate, EPCs higher. So this is what we were looking at, right? So let's just tinkle on over to the actual ad. So I've already opened this up, and you can see this is the ad. I mean, we ran different versions, we tested different ad copy, tested different images, etc. This was responsible for the most conversions, most purchases, and the most amount of revenue. And you can get a feel. Obviously, I'm not going to read it to you, but you can pause and read this yourself. It worked great. Again, that story based, we go through this in the Affiliate Millionaire modules, that story based type copy, the hooks, the angles that we use, types of images, obviously just curiosity based, foods, fruit, vegetables, drinks, anything like that is just going to be curiosity based, where someone's wondering, what is it about this egg? You know, and this would work for diabetes as well. We've used this for diabetes offers, and it works great, anything with eggs in. But you know, you get a picture, and they're so easy to make these images. And again, we go through this in the Affiliate Millionaire module to be able to make your own videos and images. All you need is your smartphone, that's it. And you can create super converting images and creative. So this was the ad that worked great. And as soon as they clicked that ad, they went on to the lander. And this would be the lander. And this was the lander that performed the best. This is the ClickFunnels one. So again, we go through breaking this down in each step in the modules, but we've got the headline, subheader, touching on this bedtime ritual, introduction to the person who they're going to be listening to on the video on the next page. Again, reiterating what they're actually looking to. and then a small piece. And again, going back to the fruit and the videos and images, super easy, and it works great. And again, we go through this in the affiliate module to link to this. So I'm going to finish it up there. All right. So basically, this campaign did 190K in profit over a 6 to 7 week period. We scaled it. This offer crushed, Toxic Burn crushed. We still crush weight loss. We crush a ton of different niches, all through the supplement space. We're crushing dental, diabetes, toenail fungus, you name it. If it's on ClickBank, if it's a supplement offer, there's a way to crush it. We primarily run Facebook ads, as we've seen, but we do run YouTube ads as well, and that's becoming a bigger part of our business and ad spend budget as well. So if you're interested in learning how you can build your own affiliate empire, how you can become an affiliate millionaire, how you can build these 6 and 7 figure campaigns, not overnight, but obviously pretty quick, over the next few months. The only real thing that really slows you down is the cash flow. Obviously, there's different things you need to know, different loopholes you need to know about, ways to structure ad accounts, etc., to stop you getting banned all the time. But once you've got that all set out, you're good to go. You just need that cash flow to come through, and obviously that's the only thing that slows it down, is just building up that cash flow. Obviously, not many people have, a couple of 100K to put into the ad budget straight off the bat. They're going to have to build up. I started with 5K. And I just built it up, and I reinvested the profits, and then made more profits and reinvested that every week, and did that for a decent amount of time, and obviously was then able to do 200-300K in a week. So you have to start from somewhere, just like everyone else does. Everyone has to start at some place, right? So if you're interested in becoming an affiliate millionaire, then make sure you sign up today. There'll be a link somewhere around this video which you can sign up for, and we'll speak soon.